Okay folks, this is my story regards loan sharks, and the story is there's a lot of loan sharks, but the one I'm particularly interested in talking about is the one called loans2go.co.uk. Well, they are. This is a loan shark company. At all costs, this company should be avoided for loans. I'll explain this later. But another thing that's important is that when you do when you buy a car second-hand, the logbook itself is important to know this. Not many people know it. This logbook is not a proof of ownership. It's not a proof of ownership, right? It shows who's responsible for registering and taxing the vehicle, but not the owner. Right? So, okay. So that's that. So you can. So when you buy a car, this doesn't mean a thing. This means the car could be sold to you fraudulently. It could be a stolen car, be a stolen logbook. Which comes to the point with this loans to go people, and what they are, loans to go, they're not just a house loan or like they are logbook loan. Importantly, you must remember this: logbook loans. So you take your logbook and you get a loan on your logbook and your car. Right. Also, another important matter is that the HPI check should actually be updated. I think the government should actually update it to so you can do a owner check. Because when HPI check might check as a loan, but you want to know who's the owner. Right. Obviously, if it comes up as HPI, it's probably the HPI owns the car. But I think there should be another where it says like owner household, or owner unknown, or owner is the HPI company name, address, and telephone number. Right, we're going on to the matter. The matter of these loan sharks. Remember, and I must stress, they are loan sharks. I'll tell you why. Because if you look on this side, they go up to like 400% HPR or more. These logbook loans, and a bit like other ones that say like ongo.com and stuff like that. But logbook loans are the worst kind of loans anybody can take out. They are a deceitful company. They like a gangster. They run the companies like gangsters. And these type of logbook loans can be run by anybody. So it's going to be an up and coming thing where all these really gangster type people are going to be loan sharks, and basically they get cars for cheap. I explain that. For example, if somebody takes a car in and gets £800, they have to pay in excess of over £40 a week to pay £2,000 back. Okay, so it's if you work it out, 400%, more than so many weeks. And another thing they do, they give these loans to talk to anybody. It's like payday loans in some way. But it's your car that they take. What they do, they take ownership of the car. Ownership, and I mean that. Just like you buy a car for the new and under HP, these do the same thing, because they won't take HP cars, they only take private cars, so they can then put the HPI on them. Okay, because you can't have two HPI companies on a car, right? So they get some persons, because of the recession and things like that, people can't afford to run the cars, and they need a quick, and they can't go to the bank for a loan at a lower interest. They'll sacrifice the car they'll take the car in and get a small loan with a excessive payback loan shark amount. Going on to the facts in my case. These loan sharks, right? So an innocent person can buy a car off somebody, and what happens? How they get the actual original logbook goes into the office. The original logbook. When the people take the logbook, proof of MOT, take the car, and they give them a spare key if they can. But that doesn't matter. So they sign a contract, say, handing ownership to the logbook loan company, and consequently have to pay an excessive amount a week back to pay the loan off. And because these people give loans to anybody, like unemployed person cannot afford to actually pay the loan off. It's impossible when you only get unemployment. So they know damn well that the unemployed, the person who's unemployed can't afford the repayments, and eventually they're going to repossess the car off them. But what happens? These people will get these logbook loans. They also get a second logbook for the car, and how they do that, they get a V62 form from the post office, and they put in the form that they've lost the logbook, right? And that way they get a fresh logbook. So there's one in the office at the logbook loan, and they get one in the hands, and that enables the person to sell the car fraudulently to a unwitting buyer. And because and what happens with these logbook loan companies, they'll take on any car. It doesn't have to be an expensive car. It's going to the point now they'll take on cars which are £500 or less, and give people a loan of £300, whatever they want. They won't give. They'll just give what the car's worth or something, whatever. But they're picking on people with cars of low value as well. It's not just high value cars, like. So then what happens? The person who sold the car with the logbook, transfers names and all that kind of thing, is then got the money from the person who's bought the car, and as well as they've got loan off the loan company, so they get basically two amounts of money. In my case, I did a straight swap. I swapped a car for a car. But I still ended up with a dilemma. And what happens then? It took them 6 months. So I got the car re-MOT'd, taxed, insured, and everything else. And 6 months down the line, this loans to go people sent 3 guys with a low loader to basically seize the car off me, and they made me a victim. Even though I bought the car, on good faith, they don't look at it like that. And these people will take cars off anybody. They'll take cars off disabled people, mothers and children, so they can't take the children to school day after, and they'll take cars off people who are working and need the car. Say they live in a village, in a remote village, they'll still take the car and leave the person stranded and basically can't get to work. So they have, and they do it without a court order. So they like what they're saying. You unwittingly bought a stolen car off them, right? And they don't give you a chance to fight your case. There's no court order, and they don't give you a chance to sell it on, or scrap it off, or whatever. Or get rid of it, or pass it, or hide it. So they just come at night time when you're in after work. And they also, which is wrong, they contact DVLA to get your name and address for the car, so they can come and seize it. So they find your name and address from DVLA and they come and take your car. Yeah, so obviously with a low price vehicle, you don't think to actually do a HPI check on something on a low price. I did a HPI check recently on the vehicle, and it's still only worth maximum 1,250, but the actual second-hand value is probably 700 or 600. I swapped it for a £600 car, and what the alert says, it says outstanding finance, recorded VRM, description, mine was a Rover, and it tells you the date the loan was taken out. In this case it was 3rd of the 7th 2012, and it mentions the finance house, loans to go, franchise holdings limited, and tells you the number of the loan company. It also gives you a reference number of the loan, which in this case ended in the surname on the logbook, on the first name, probably the initial, and it also mentions in the about this ownership problem. It says this is a complicated area. A bill of sale might give the finance company right of ownership over the vehicle, and you will be advised to make further inquiries before purchasing. So it's just like when you buy a car from new, the loan company, or you buy a house, you don't own your house until you paid it off, and it's the same with your car when you buy a car from a HP. And these people take ownership of private cars, and they put a HPI on them, so they then own them. But it's the way they actually seize people's goods. They don't. They make you into a criminal. They don't care who you are, if you're disabled, whatever. They just take the vehicle, whether you like it or not, and they do it in a unscrupulous way. They don't like ask the court or anything. They don't give you a chance to fight your case. They just take the car, and then they expect you, as the person on the logbook or whatever, to pay the debt of the person who originally got the loan out, to get you to release the car or vehicle back to you. So in one case I was talking to somebody, they bought the car, and 6 months down the line these people come and seize the car, they put it in the compound, then the person has to pay £2,000 to get the car back and pay the loan off the original person who had the loan. So basically they make you pay somebody else's loan off to get your car back, which is totally wrong. What they should do is actually pursue they should, instead of treating the person with the car as a thief and taking and stealing the car back off them, what they should do is actually leave the person alone, or give the person chance to pay something off, even if it's but not the full amount, like £2,000. I mean, in some cases you could be talking £5,000. It's not just me. In my case, it weren't too bad because I had a second vehicle. What they do, they give you 14 days to pay the amount off. So in my case, it was only a low price vehicle. But for some people, like them people who had to pay 2,000, they only had 14 days, and they say in the letter, well, they put a letter for your door, or they give it you. We have called today to enforce a seizure notice issued to you under the terms of agreement. But I didn't get anything issued to me under the terms of any agreement, so it's not really anything to do with me. We have repossessed your vehicle. You will hold it, and we will hold it for 14 days before sending the vehicle to auction. You are able to call this branch whilst we hold your car and try to come with an arrangement plan for you to clear the arrears, which is clear the arrears for us to release the car back to you. So the arrears, it's not my car, it belongs to somebody else. The arrears is somebody else's loan. So why are they asking me for a loan to pay the arrears off something I haven't even done? So totally wrong. So, loans to go, or any logbook loan company goes about it in the same kind of way. If you ever do a HBI check, make sure you do it properly with a good company. In my case, I got at least 4 pages. It mentions about the alert about the finance company, and it also tells you about all sorts of other things, and tells you all about your vehicle, what the engine size and everything. It's quite comprehensive, the reports, and it was done by AA. If you go to the AA site and ask for and pay for HBI, it's to tell you everything about your vehicle. So that's that. So what I'm disgusted of is that these people don't care. Yes, they should be shut down, and the governments, they have that many loopholes. DVLA shouldn't release your name address to unscrupulous people like this. They do it to car parks. Say you park your car park and you have to pay a fine. They'll release your name address to the car park, but they also release your address to loan sharks. Right. If this vehicle was scrapped off by the other person, then they couldn't do much about that because it'd be scrapped in bits. But because I actually own it and I'm running it and I've got an MOT and I'm waiting to drive, they just come and take it. But if it was scrapped off, I mean, if the people who had the car before got a logbook, right, and then you took it to scrapyard knowing that it's going to get repossessed anyway, and then just got a couple of £100 for scrap, they could have got away with that, because loans to go. You can't take a vehicle for the scrapyard what's not got any what can't be put to auction. It's already in bits or bits taken off it. So if you're a scrap merchant, you'd probably be alright, because you can't get seized, even though when DVLA tells them the DVLA probably say it's been scrapped off or something, right? And another thing to remember is that a scrapyard will not take a vehicle without a logbook. They're not supposed to by law. You're supposed to scrap it and right? What concerns me is that I'm trying to keep hold of it. I mean, I've got the logbook in my name, right? And what this company is going to do is they said they're going to put it into a auction, right? And they're going to sell it either without MOT or with, without a logbook, or they're going to sell it with a logbook what they currently own in the office, which has got a different name on. So my name won't be on it, basically. So when the persons who buy the car and they want to put it on the road and they get a replacement logbook, it'll have the extra name on, my name and address, which then again, that's fraud, because the loan company are putting the vehicle through the auction with saying it's got so many owners, and there's an extra one which they've just took off, they've seized off somebody. So they're allowed to fraudulently sell a car. They could put it in the MOT, they could put it through the auction. They could put it through the auction without MOT, but then they're going to get a V62 and get a logbook for it. And DVL and the thing about DVLA, they'll give logbooks to anybody. So even if somebody else owns a vehicle, like it's in somebody else's name, the V62 is worded in such a way that you can just say, I got it from a trader or an auction, and they'll give them a logbook just like that, right? Make them a keeper. So because it's not actually been reported as stolen, so they can't actually, they'll give the logbook to them. I've tried to write to DVLA and tell them to not to do that, but whether they'll take any notice, they probably won't. They'll probably just let the other person have the logbook. But if the person at the auction uses it for parts, then I'll buy it, or they might want the engine out of it or something. But what concerns me as well, if you get the loan, if you pay the arrears off and you take the car back, you need to find out for sure that they actually take the HPI off the vehicle. So so the ownership basically, so if anybody does a HPI check or you do another HPI check, you want to be sure that the HPI is not attached to the vehicle. So, and what concerns me is that they're going to put this car through an auction, and they're going to leave. I don't know if they are going to do, but they're probably going to leave the HPI attached to the vehicle. So 6 months down the line, after they've sold it, it's gone through the auction, and they think they haven't got enough. Say they only get £200 for it. Then 6 months from down the line, they then will seize the vehicle from the owner again, and seize it, put it into compound, and re-auction it, and keep doing that until they get more and more money. Because the originator of the loan won't pay up, and they've no chance of getting any money back off them. You can't send bailiffs into the house because they haven't got the law or the court order to actually take stuff from the people's house. All they can do is take the car. So what they do, they'll probably keep taking the car off everybody who buys it. So yeah, it's disgusting what they do. And they don't care about people's livelihood, and the innocent buyer ends up. And this 14 days. I mean, I had a second vehicle, which wasn't so bad, but these people who haven't got a second vehicle need a vehicle, and then they panic them into a 14 days period to pay a big lump sum, which they won't have expected that off the original loan person. The original loan person might be paying £40 a week. They won't say like, I want 2,000 quid. Well, they probably would do if they see they're defaulting on the payments, right? And the person who actually has got the logbook in their name, the keeper. Remember, you're only a keeper. So how many keepers are out there? If you own a vehicle yourself, and you bought it off an HPI company over a period of years, you want to do a HPI check on your vehicle and find out if you are actually the owner, and the loan's taken off. Because a lot of people out there probably remain keepers all the time. Never be owners. So be careful. Like I say, it's disgusting that, and it's only a civil matter, right? It's only a civil, so the police can't be involved, which I think is wrong, because I'm the victim. I'm the victim of the buyer selling the car fraudulently, and even though the seller has done a fraudulent act, there's no criminal law for that person, so I can't tell the police that person sold me the car fraudulently, arrest them and take them to court and stuff like that. I can't do that, because it's a stupid law system, really, because they committed fraud, but you can't. It's only a civil matter, and I'm the victim, and I've been. It's a crazy society we live in, and where all these loan sharks. Remember, they are a loan shark. They know damn well that the people won't be able to keep up the payments for the amount. I mean, you get £800 loan and pay 2,400, whatever it is. It's ridiculous, isn't it? Compared to a normal bank. Normal banks, but they can't get loans off banks. So and the biggest thing about these loan sharks is that, and it's very important to know this, they're going to be on the increase, a big increase because of this recession. They're going to be there's going to be a load of people going on the bandwagon to do this kind of thing, because they get cars for cheap, and at any time they can seize the cars, right? So it's going to get all sorts of undesirables setting up company, giving people loan shark money. So it needs to be stopped. The government needs to make it a criminal offence for these loan sharks to seize vehicles off innocent buyers. But as yet it's not been. I mean, it's been on Watchdog. You've probably seen it on Watchdog and that kind of thing. I'm trying to go to press with it. I'm letting you know to be aware of what you buy. You know, vehicle wise mainly, and yeah. So I've done that. I've took the tax off it, doing no tax on it. So I put a zone on the vehicle with regards to the tax, took it off the road, and that kind of thing. So we make sure you do that. But I've actually still got a logbook in my name, and I don't intend to get rid of it, sign it over to anybody unless well, I would like somebody to pay for the signing over, but I probably won't get that lucky. I've probably just lost it now, and that's it. You know, the DVLA don't care. They'll give as many bitty logbooks out as they want, as people ask. You know, just fill in your V62 with your engine number and your chassis number, your VIN number. Oh yeah, have a logbook. Yeah, so they give cars to anybody. They don't contact the previous owner or the previous keeper. I must stress that, not owner, keeper. To say like, can we give this person the logbook? They don't do that, which is wrong again. They should give the people, because when you sell a car, you swap name addresses and you both sign the end of the logbook to do it, and then you both send each other's logbook off. But auctions and things like that, it doesn't happen. So yeah, and that's all I'm saying to you people. Don't ever get a logbook loan. Right? They are only loan sharks. They are the disgusting, horrible people, gangsters, gangster types, who just give excessive loans. It's not just them. It's not just logbook loans. There's a lot of other payday loans and Wonga.com and all that. The old loan sharks. They're giving you a loan for a high interest. So any high interest loan. I mean, there's been a bit of controversy about payday loans, where they're the same. They'll give loans to anybody, and then they don't check up on them, and not like banks do. So they give, or basically all they want to do is put you in debt, right? In every debt along there. So you just keep paying your wages over to them. So that's that. A warning to all you out there. Don't end up like me. I mean, I've done a lot of research on a lot of other cases who has been worse than me. They've had no car, and they had to pay the £2,000 whatever they had to pay to get the car back, which is all wrong. The loan company should actually take the person who sold the car to court for selling their vehicle, not taking it off the other person. Or if they do want to take it off the other person, they should give the other person a couple of weeks to sort things out, or talk to them. But they won't do that, because they don't trust you. They'll think you're just going to sell it on, or get rid, or whatever, or hide it. So yes, there's a lot of things on this on the YouTube where you get people saying oh, loans to go, oh, they're fantastic, oh, they changed my life, they've done this, they've done that, oh, loans to go are great. My word is, loans to go are the worst companies, and anything to do with loan sharks, any companies that do loan sharks are the worst people to get loans off. do not ever think of going to a loan shark, because they are disgusting companies and they don't deserve to be in business. So just be aware, everybody. Don't end up like me if you're a car buyer, and don't ever go to a loan shark and hand your vehicle over, because they know damn well you can't afford to pay the loan back. Your say £800 to 2,400 is a ridiculous amount of interest. Keep away. So you can look at the loan shark or the loans to go videos and see what all these idiot people say how they've done, how good they've done to them. But it's all lies. They probably pay them to do that, because who in the right mind loves to pay loan shark money? I mean, who in the right mind is happy to pay 400% APR or more, or 500% APR to a loan shark? They can't be happy. You know, they're talking a load of bollocks. So keep away. My warnings to everybody. Thank you very much for listening. Sorry it's been a long video. It's 31 minutes now, so it's bye for now, and be warned.